2015 2-liter TSI. Customer has a complaint of it running bad, dying, weird lights on, and a whole myriad of other stuff. As I was driving it in the bay, it was misfiring quite bad, shaking and stumbling. Let's get a code scan. Now, I know Volkswagens really well, but this one right here, see how the measuring blocks there is grayed out? That means that this is a UDS car. You can see UDS up here. It says the protocol is UDS. It's going to make me use advanced measuring values, but let's see what codes we got. Oh my, 13 trouble codes. Look at that. 13 trouble codes. What, you'd think this was a 18T car, but let's go through these real quick here. Databus on that first one there. We'll scroll down here over the right. You probably can't see that, but fuel pressure sensor. Reduced speed threshold for oil pressure switching. I don't have a clue about those two codes, by the way. Engine start blocked by immobilizer. We usually ignore that one on older cars. EVAP. Cylinder 1 misfire, that's to be expected. Cylinder 3 misfire. Cylinder 4 misfire. And cylinder 2 misfire. I was guessing on that one. Random misfire, of course. And another databus code, maybe that's the same one, I didn't pay attention to the number. Bank 1, Bank 1, cam position sensor, G40, engine speed sensor, incorrect correlation. Now I just did a video on P0341. I'm not sure if it's the exact same code, but they're both defined that way, of incorrect correlation. But this is a P001016, but maybe since it's a later car, maybe even since it's a UDS car, maybe it's different. And then Bank 1 Camshaft A intake, P0011. Oh, I'm yawning. P0011 Retard set point not reached over advanced. Well, let's start this thing up and I'll show you what it's doing and we'll take a look at the misfire monitors. How's that go again? Go ahead and go back. Advanced measuring values, and with the later cars and UDS systems, you have to select it over here. Usually it's best to search for it because there's a million of them. So I'm typing in misfire, and I'm pretty sure it's these. Zoom out on. Got to stretch this out a little bit to tell what I'm looking at here. Misfires per 1,000. Let me get in here and click those four. You can hear the stumbling start there. And over here on the right, we see our misfires. So what are the chances all four of the coil packs failed at once? Not very good. Maybe it's a crankcase vent problem, making it lean so all of them are misfiring maybe? I'm assuming this is a CCT engine, but it might be a later derivative. Let's go take a look under the hood. Tell right off the bat it's not a CCT because it has different design coils. Valve cover doesn't have the oil plug in it, the timing cover does. Down on the front of the timing cover on that tag, you can see the letter code is CPR. See that? Cardiac pulmonary resuscitation, CPR. Pretty sure you can hear and maybe even see the stumbling of the engine there. Let me show you the tachometer. See all that jumping around there? Okay, we took a look under the hood. You saw the engine shaking and sputtering. And I showed you the tach, but I don't know if I showed you the mileage. The mileage on this thing is 121,000. Now, I did a recent video on a Touareg with a CCT engine. It had come out of time right about this mileage, and so this is not a CCT, but it's a derivative of. Okay, we're going in to diagnose this Passat. We've played with it a little bit, and we've noticed that sometimes it will act up and sometimes it won't. Usually when it's first started it seems to run okay, and right now it's running okay because we did just first start it. And on this late model car with UDS you have to use advanced measuring values, and so we go over here, and to use advanced measuring values you have to search for it because there's a million things in there. And if you click on these first two, let me spread this out so we can see what we're doing here. See there it says exhaust, specified value, and actual value, and that's what we're wanting to look at. Let me get this over here. So I select those two, and you see over here the exhaust bank 1 specified and the exhaust bank 1 actual is both reading 0, and that's probably because this car does not have adjustable camshaft on the exhaust side. I just wanted to show you that. And then so over here we select camshaft adjustment intake specified, click that bad boy, and then camshaft adjustment intake bank 1 actual. So as we go over here, maybe this thing is acting up right now. Our specified is 10 degrees and our actual is 0.04. Now this car usually misfires when it's acting up. Rev it up a bit here. See there, the actual isn't changing much at all. The specified is. So specified's going from 10, and as I rev the engine's going up higher. This is significantly different than what I would expect because I am used to the older, you know, like the 2012 CCs and EOS and Tiguan's with a CCT letter code engine. But let's graph this. And as you can see, we are graphing the first two fields there, which are those fields we saw up above when we have 10 degrees for specified and 0.01 degree for actual. So in order to graph this, I want to change this vertical scale. So I'm going to select this one, and the highest number I've seen was 60, so I am going to go ahead and put 80 here, and this is the minimum over here is set at negative 50, and so the lowest number I see here is 0 on this one. Now that ain't the one I've selected, but I want the two to be comparable, so I'm going to put negative 10 for the low number here, because if it's you actually set it at 0, it'll be right on the bottom and you won't be able to see it sometimes. So in order to input that, you have to click on the other box, or else it doesn't input it. You can't hit the enter button. That's a discrepancy here. And then I'm going to select this one, click there, and change the scale to the same. 80 is fine by me. Put negative 10 here. And then I click that. And what we're seeing here is these two lines are not together. So actual should follow specified fairly closely. Maybe not perfectly. but fairly closely. And as I rev it, we have no change in the bottom line. Now I'd like to go drive this car, and I really would like it to act up also. It seems like before this car was misfiring and acting crazy, and I assumed it was due to a camshaft problem. I just don't know at this point, but we definitely have a camshaft that is not following its command. And I would assume that the code would reoccur because this was happening. I don't have any way, since it's not misfiring right now, of correlating that this problem is causing the misfire. So maybe I'll go drive it and see what happens. Okay, as I was driving the car, I took a quick graph, and right here is our actual, and here's our desired. Desired's going way up to 60 plus, and actual never follows it. So the car is not misfiring right now. I don't understand. It goes through times where it does misfire and times when it doesn't. Obviously we have a timing problem based on this graph, and maybe we'll just need to address that. Maybe we can assume something's sticking in the base position here and it doesn't misfire, and when it sticks in a different position it does misfire. I don't know at this point. Let me show you what it's doing now. Get back to that was a graph that I had saved, and this here is what is currently going on. Now I'm parked on the side of the road right now, but you can see our camshaft specified is now dropped to 0, and our actual is still here at approximately 0.8. Now actual is fluctuating. If I rev it, it kind of changes a little bit, but specified isn't changing at all now, and I would assume that's because the code has reoccurred. Let's go look and see. Yes, it has. So at least we have a duplicatable problem, although the misfire isn't happening right now. And I will continue driving this, see if the misfire happens, and we'll address it either when the misfire happens, or we'll address it based on the cam timing not changing. As I'm test driving this car, I want to point out that the seatbelt warning light is on, and that is because obviously I have my seatbelt on because I'm a good guy, but my laptop doesn't have its seatbelt on. And that gets really annoying because the car beeps at you every once in a while saying, "Hey guy, put your seatbelt on." Now I keep telling the laptop to put its seatbelt on, but the damn thing won't listen. Ooh, a Challenger, look at that. It's got bullet holes in it. Oh, those are rust pocks? Hey. Okay, I've been driving this, and I've been clearing codes sometimes as I drive it, and this code is reoccurring consistently. The reason I've been clearing codes is because you have to, because it goes into that default where it doesn't show a desired, so, or specified. So in order to look at the measuring values, the engine's stumbling just a bit here. That's why I'm hesitating. So in order to see those desired value and see if the computer is able to control it or not, I have to clear the codes. And so once again here we have 10, and we rev it, and the desired or specified. I use the term desired interchangeably with the term specified, by the way. So the specified is still being commanded differently, but actual is not changing at all. But on the older cars, there is a basic setting test, and you can see what I'm talking about in my other video that I'll link to in the cards up here in the upper right hand corner. There is a basic settings test in where the computer commands the camshaft to its maximum retardation, to its maximum advance, and you can see it command it, and you can see it respond to it. But I'm not finding anything like that in this UDS style car. I am seeing down here at the bottom timing chain elongation reset after chain replacement and timing chain elongation correction after other work. I don't know what the difference of those two things is. I'm not seeing anything that would let us do the same basic settings test that we did on the older car in the other video. Now I looked in adaptation also, and I'm not seeing anything. There may be something, but it's not going to make it easy for me, and I don't know what to do at this point, so I'm not sure I can do that test. Obviously that test is easier on the older cars, but I'm convinced that actual and desired is good enough. We see that the computer is commanding it to do something, and we see that it's not responding, so obviously there's a problem where it can't respond to the computer's commands. Now, I am a YouTube addict. I watch YouTube constantly. I watch South Main Auto Channel, Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics, Super Mario, Scanner Danner, and a whole host of other ones. But I watch YouTube constantly with regards to machining and technical stuff, World War II airplanes, gunsmithing, and of course auto repair. And I am remembering something from Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics where the cam adjuster magnet was stuck, and that would make sense on. So we're going to pull that cam adjuster magnet out. I'll put a link in here to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics video, and if I remember correctly, he was able to just clean that thing up and make it work again. Maybe we can do the same. Okay, Cortland has pulled our cam adjuster magnet out of the car.